Hello students. In this video, I am going to discuss about control statements in Java. Let us see what is control statement. In a sequence of program execution, if we are controlling the sequence with the help of any condition keys, that is called a control statement. There are different types of control statements are there in Java programming, like simple if statement, if-else statement, nested if, else-if ladder, and switch case statement. Let us see the syntax of simple if statement. Here, followed by the if keyword, within bracket we have to mention a condition, and within the curly bracket we have to type the code which has to be executed once the condition is true. Here is an example. Here I declared two different variables x and y, and also x is assigned with 10 and y is assigned with 20. So x and y values are 10 and 20. In the next line, I'm checking the condition if x is less than y. Here, 10 is less than 20. As this condition is true, then it goes inside and it just prints the statement x is less than y. Otherwise, if suppose x value is 25, y value is 20 means at that time 25 is not less than 20. So at that time it will not go inside this block and it skips the block and goes here. The next one is if-else statement. Here the syntax is if the condition is true means it will have some set of block that is called block 1. If suppose the condition is false means it will have an else block that is called block 2. See the example, time equal to 14. Here I am checking the condition is time less than 12. It checks whether 14 is less than 12. 14 is not less than 12. So this condition is false. So it simply goes to the else part. Then it just prints good afternoon. Suppose if the time value is 10 or 9 means at that time the value 9 or 10 will be than 12. So at that time this condition becomes true and it just prints this statement good morning. And next we are going to see if-else ladder. Here we have a condition, if condition. If this condition is true, then block 1 will be executed. Suppose if this condition 1 is false, it goes to the else if part. Here it checks the condition 2. If this condition 2 is true, then it executes the block 2. Otherwise, this else if part goes on. If suppose any one of the conditions are condition 1 and condition 2 or condition 3 etc. are false, then finally the default case, that is a default block else will be executed. Here is an example program. Here for the variable month I have assigned the value as 4. In the first if condition, month equal to 12 or 1 or 2. Here the month value is 4. It is not matching either of these conditions. So it jumps here. Here it checks whether 4 is equivalent to 3. No. Again it checks 4 is equivalent to 4. Yes, it is true. See, either one of the conditions are getting true. So immediately season will be assigned with spring. Then the rest of the else statements will be ignored and the control will come to the print statement. April is the spring season. Then nested if statement. Here is the syntax. Here first we have an if followed by the condition. If this condition is true, inside this if block we will have one more if condition, that is nested if. An if condition inside another if condition. So again, it will have some set of conditions. If this condition is true, this nested code will be executed. Here is an example. If I is equal to 10, if I value is equivalent to 10, it goes inside. If I is less than 20, if the value lies between, it goes inside. If the value lies between 10 and 12, Then it goes inside, then assigns A to 1 and B to 2. Here is another control statement called switch case statement. Here, followed by the switch keyword, we have an expression. Based on this value mentioned here, the case value will be executed. Either case 1 or case 2 or the rest of the cases will be executed. Here, for switch, nearby switch, I have a variable called I. Based on the I value, either it goes to case 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. If the value of I is 5 means there is no possibility of 5 here. Suppose if the value of I is 2 means then directly it goes to case 2 and it just prints I is 2. Thank you. Next I'm going to discuss about looping statements in Java. Loops are nothing but set of statements are repeated again and again till the certain condition is getting false. Let us see the different types of looping statements in Java. The first one is while loop statement. It is a pre-test loop statement which has a condition. If the condition is true means then only the block of statements will be executed. Next one is do while loop. It is a post-test loop because initially the block of statements will be executed only once and then only the condition will be checked. If that condition is again true, then again the block of statements will be executed. Then for loop, it is the iterative loop based on the I values from I equal to either 0 to n minus 1 or 1 to n, the loops will be executed. And then the final one is enhanced for loop, which is new in Java programming, which does not exist in C and C++. Let us see the syntax for each and everything. For while loop, the syntax is while condition. If this condition is true, the body of the loop will be executed. And the next one is do while loop. Here, inside the do block, here the body of the loop will be there. Initially, it will be executed once, then only the condition will be checked. If it is true, then the body of the loop will be executed again. Then again condition will be checked. Till the condition is getting false, the loop will be repeatedly executed. The next one is for loop. Here we have three different components: initialization, condition, and iteration. Initially, the value will be initialized with some value. If that value is satisfying the condition, then body of the loop will be executed. Again, the iteration will be incremented or decremented. Again, it checks the condition, then body of the loop will be executed. Again, the iteration will be increased or decreased. Again, it checks the condition. If the condition is true, the body of the loop will be executed. When this condition is getting false, the for loop will be exited. Then enhanced for loop. Here is the syntax for enhanced for loop. Here, data type and element colon array. See here, let us see one example here. Here we have an array, numbers equal to 3, 9, 5 and minus 5. These are the elements in array. Then for int number colon numbers. So in the array numbers, we have values 3, 9, 5 and minus 5. So every time, in every iteration, one by one, initially 3 will be assigned to the variable number, and inside this loop we have a print statement. The number will be printed here. So 3 will be printed first. Then during the next iteration, the second value 9 will be assigned to the variable number, and that will be printed here 9. Likewise, 5 and the minus 5 will be printed. So this is the uniqueness of for each loop. Thank you.